Hello, this is Brian. This is another episode of Spotlight on Trees. Today is Saturday, May 25th, 2019. I'm in the San Gabriel Mountains in the Angeles National Forest. I am just east of Dawson Saddle, which is along that way. It's the highest point on Angeles Crest Highway, about 7,800 feet. I'm about closer to 7,700 feet right now, maybe 7,800 feet. And my focus for Spotlight on Trees today is the Sierra Lodgepole Pine. This is a Pinus contorta subspecies murrayana. Some botanists call it Pinus contorta variety murrayana, and some even give it its own species as Pinus murrayana. But it's a generally medium-sized tree, generally under 100 feet tall. I'm actually at quite a low elevation here in Southern California to find it. Normally this tree is found above 8,000 feet, but here in the San Gabriels there are a couple spots just east of Dawson Saddle where you'll see maybe a couple here and there. Now here's one of them right here. And a great place to see them near Dawson Saddle, besides at the turnout. There's a turnout for Dawson Saddle where there's a small one there. But if you go up the Dawson Saddle Trail a short ways, you will come across the tree. And if you're hiking up towards True Peak or the Pacific Crest Trail, like if you're hiking all the way to Powell, you will see lots and lots and lots of this tree. Now, it's not very closely related to any of the other pines here in Southern California. It's not in the yellow pine group, and it's not in the white pine group. So it's in a different group. I don't remember the name of the group, but it's a beautiful tree. It's got a usually pretty stout trunk, and the bark's kind of flaky, lightish brown, as you see here. The little bark flakes kind of peel off easily. It's an incredibly beautiful tree. And it's the only tree here in the San Gabriel Mountains that has 2 needles to a bundle. Right here, as you can tell, if you look at this bundle right here, I'm trying to be careful not to rip the branch off. You can see there are 2 needles in that bundle just above my finger there. It's the only pine here in the San Gabriels that has the 2 needles to a bundle. And another thing you'll notice is that their cones are very small. Also, one of the smallest cones among the pines here in the San Gabriels. They are really short, kind of darkish, medium darkish brown, and have prickles at the end of their cone scales. Here's one right here. So as I said, cones are very small, and they have a small prickle, and the seeds are tiny. And another thing you'll notice about this tree, unlike most of the other pines in our mountains, the needles are relatively flat in cross-section. They're actually kind of flat and rather broad for a pine needle. Kind of hard to tell with the camera, but they are kind of broad and flat. There's actually a subspecies of lodgepole pine called the Rocky Mountain Lodgepole Pine, and that's Pinus contorta subspecies latifolia, sometimes known as Pinus latifolia or variety latifolia, depending on which botanists you trust. And their needles are flat and broad as well, and that's where latifolia comes from, broad leaf. Now, it's usually a pretty straight tree with a usually rather narrow crown. I'm going to back up a little bit, give you a closer shot of this tree. Now this one, like I said, is kind of at a low elevation. Once you get above 8,000 feet between Dawson Saddle and Mount Powell, which is over there, Mount Powell and Dawson Saddle's over that way, you'll see a lot of them along the crest. And then you'll also see them between True Peak and just west of Mount Hawkins. And then you'll find more lodgepole pines in the upper portions of the Cucamonga Wilderness and also Mount San Antonio, or Mount Baldy if you please. And it's an incredibly beautiful tree, and we do get some pretty tall ones once you go up on the ridgeline, especially along the Dawson Saddle Trail. So if you want to see some large ones, that'll be a really good place to see them. And also, there's another tree that's usually well above it. You usually start seeing these actually further up after you start seeing the lodgepoles. And this is the limber pine right here. This is Pinus flexilis. Its branches are pretty upright, and their needles are in bundles of 5. Usually you don't see these till you're well above 8,000 feet. But again, Dawson Saddle Trail. Dawson Saddle Trail is a good place to see them, especially the higher portion of it, as you're running the ridge towards Troop Peak. Another great place to see them is also west of Troop Peak, just past Mount Hawkins along the ridge. And then I read that they're supposed to grow near Mount Baldy, but when I hiked Mount Baldy, or Mount San Antonio if you like, I never saw any limbers. It was pretty much all lodgepole pines, Jeffrey pines, sugar pines, and Sierra junipers over there. But again, you have it. Sorry for the sun glare, but that's the beautiful lodgepole pine, Pinus contorta, subspecies murrayana. And I haven't done a video yet that focuses on the limber pine, but be on the lookout for a video about the limber pine soon. This is Brian. Thanks for watching. This was another episode of Spotlight on Trees. Come out here in the San Gabriel. So you can get close to a couple lodgepoles without having to hike a ridiculously long amount to get to them. You can see a couple right here along Angeles Crest. So join me on my next Spotlight on Trees next time I'm up here in the mountains.